Hi friends, do you have one of these babies sitting in your garage that you're just wanting to put in the parade so bad, but it doesn't have any stars or numbers on it, and you don't know where to put them? Well, look no further. You found the be-all, end-all video for that, because we have an unrestored original here. We're gonna measure the numbers out and talk about these M100s a little bit. Here we go. So if you scour Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist like I do, typing in military or military trailer, looking to find a steal or a deal, and you come across this trailer just like this, and it says World War II trailer, only $2,000, completely restored. And the first thing you noticed is this parking brake. It looks just like this with the pistol grip. You got yourself an M100 doctored up to look like an MBT. What some shysters will commonly do is take one of these M100s, cut the handles off, grind them flush, change a couple other things that we're going to look at, and market it as a World War II trailer when it is not. So let's go around and look at the other things that make this not a World War II trailer.
The M100 and the following model, M416, have Cornerman handles. The MBT did not have any handles on the corners. Round fenders. This might get some people in trouble because these fenders are almost identical to the MBT, the World War II. So if you were to take a picture, if you were to look at that trailer right there, it would be hard to distinguish what exact model it is.
Last thing we're going to talk about are the tail lights and the wiring system on these M100 trailers. The M100 is originally designed to be mated to the M38 flat fender Jeep, which is a Korean era Jeep. It's a 24-volt vehicle, and the wiring system is waterproof, water resistant really, but for all practical purposes it's waterproof. And they have special waterproof connectors that you put together and you turn to lock them. And the M100 trailer features that in its wiring harness. Features that in the tail lights. The tail lights are waterproof. The wiring harness is waterproof. And they'll have I forget what they're called, like Jacobs connectors or some funny name like that. They're metal shells. Inside it's a regular like bullet connector. And then you just put that together and turn it 90 degrees, and it seals it out. So that's what you're looking for. If you see one with that style of wiring harness, like, pretty sure it's an M100 trailer. So other than that, I can't think of anything that really makes this discernible. I think no, not that I know of. Oh, I will say this though, there is a manufacturer serial number stamped somewhere on this trailer, and that if you do a little bit of research you'll be able to find where it is, and that will tell you, I think, the year of manufacture. So if you're really into this, do a little bit of research. I'm not going to say it on here, but I know where it is, and if you do some research you can find it too. Alright, let's move on.
Serious. This is serious talk here. Serious. So what we have is an unrestored original M100 trailer. Barn find. Let's go around the trailer and we're going to measure out this paint. So if you have an M100 that you're wanting to restore and you want to get the stars and numbers correct, this is a rare opportunity to see one as it was in the service. The stars, the serial numbers, everything's where it's supposed to be. And this trailer's never been repainted. Well, it's never been repainted after they painted it this god-awful blue color, we'll put it that way. So we have one coat of blue, we have two coats of OD, it looks like a Korean War OD, and then the earlier World War II OD. Under that is a yellow primer that they used. So we know that this paint is original. So yeah, let's get started measuring these stars out and the numbers. We have a we could call it a 6-inch star, but it's really, from point to point, it's 5 7/8. And the crotch of the star from this angle iron is 7 5/16. Oh, I'm forgetting the measurement. Let's measure from this point over here as straight as we can get. We're going to call that, we'll measure from this point to the crotch of this, from this point of the star to this corner right here. I'm getting 9 3/16. Moving right along, you can see on the side we have the U.S. Army, the serial number, 2 stars. Let's measure it all out. These numbers, serial number, I painted over this, but this is the last number on the serial number. And it's actually over the handle here. So they began the serial number right at the front end of this rib, actually inside the rib a little bit. So as long as you get it in that ballpark somewhere, you're going to be okay. I imagine they put it on there so they could fit it as best as they could in here, in this rectangle here. But let's measure this out so we exactly know. The digits themselves, you could call them 2-inch digits, but they're really, yeah, they're 2-inch. Okay, so 2-inch digits. The bottom of the serial number is 3 inches from this lip here. 3 inches up. U.S. Army is 5 7/8 to this point here, the bottom of the U, from this lip. Moving on to the star. Crotch of the star is, I'm going to say 4 7/8 from this lip. Of course, it's another 6-inch star minus a 32nd, which puts it from this point here, puts it 2 5/8 down from that. And let's measure from, get a good solid measurement forward to back. Actually, it looks like it's centered between these 2 ribs, but let's just measure it out. I got 2.5 to that point, and 2 3/4 to that point, so it is that away. And that's from where my tape measure hooks into this, not from this top point. It's not from this point here, it's from down in this ridge. Okay. Yeah, 2 3/4. All right, let's move along. Oh no, I got another frickin' star here to measure out. Okay, looks like we got the same star. Top point of the star is 1 1/16 from this point here. The leading edge of the star is just on where this actual ridge here starts to curl down, right at the top. The last part of this panel is still flat right here, right before it starts to turn in. And that should locate that star for you. Oh, TP25, of course, TP25. These digits are 5/8. The whole TP25 itself, hard to see the T, but if I center the shaft of the vertical shaft of the T, I'm going to say that's 3 inches. I'm calling that 3 inches. And whenever I was wet sanding this, there is another separate TP25 under it. So this trailer had 2 paint jobs. Let's see if we can get a close-up of that paint. Okay. This is my homemade paint, so don't even pay attention to that. I just wanted to get something on the rust here to preserve it. This is the original color of the trailer. After that, they painted it this darker Korean War color and put these markings on it here. But if you zoom in here and you hold your breath and you you look carefully, and if I can hold this frickin' camera still enough, you can see evidence of the original TP markings underneath this paint, and it looks like, well, they look like they're just a hair bigger. I can't. Yeah, they are bigger, aren't they? The whole set's longer, of course. You got a whole set this long. But the actual digits themselves, the shafts on the script are a little bit wider. Because look at this. You have this thickness and this thickness here. Then you have this thickness. It's about twice as thick almost. Let's measure that. Okay, so it looks like the Korean era digits are 1/8 wide. The original digits on this trailer are 1, 2, 3, 4, 532. Yeah, it looks like 536. Not quite 3/16. I'm gonna call it 5/32 wide. So they're just a hair bigger. Okay, let's keep on going. You can see here how the last digit overruns this handle. I wanted to get a close-up of this before we moved on to something else. Dat asto. Let's finish out the video with measuring the rear, because I think the other side is a mirror image. Yeah, the other side is a mirror image. So let's measure out these digits. We have a star centered in the trailer. It is, the bottom two legs are 1/4 inch from where this flat panel starts to roll. Okay, that's what we'll measure. I'll give you another measurement. Let's measure from the bottom of this actual steel, from the bottom lip of this pan here. We'll measure up. That's 2 1/16. Okay, let's measure to either side. Where can we get a good measurement? We'll measure from the outside of this handle here to the bottom leg. That's 17 1/8. We'll measure from that handle to this leg. That's 17 5/16 there. So it's not quite exactly centered, but it's close. And you can imagine they didn't really give a shit if they were entirely centered or not, as long as they were on there and about where they were supposed to be. U.S. Army. Looks like it's aligned with this corner right here, plus maybe 1/8. Yeah, so if you imagine this right here like that, that's 1/8. It's just, how am I going to measure this? Let's take our tape measure into this pipe. That's exactly 4 inches down to the top of that U. I mean, exactly 4 inches. Shit, brother. Well, let's measure to the S, because that might be a braided. Yeah, that's a braided. Let's measure to the top of the S. No, I'm going to measure to the A. I'm sorry, I keep screwing with you guys. Okay, I'm trying to find a letter that has a nice flat edge on the top. I can actually get a solid reading on. Okay, that's 3 3/4 plus a 16th. 3 13/16. That's your top edge of the characters, and they are 2-inch characters. U.S. Army all in all, from the top of the U to the outer point of the Y, is 11 3/8 plus a hair. Yep, 2, 4, 6, 7/16. Okay, moving on. We have our serial number. It's an 8-digit number. It looks to be about the same height, aligned with this actual crease here. If you follow this crease around a trailer, that's the line on which they stenciled that. Let's measure down from the pipe again. There it is. That's exactly 3 7/8. to the top of these digits. These digits are 2 inches. And they must have worked that way so they didn't overrun the trailer whenever they were stenciling this out. Because you can see the O kind of runs into this rib here, but the 4 doesn't overrun the trailer itself, so they probably worked this way. We have some more numbers down here. Unit identification numbers in the unit of March number. These are, man, they're hard to see. I kind of stopped sanding these because there wasn't much left of that underneath, and I really wanted to preserve that. If I can get this off of here, I'll repaint it. That might be the only number I repaint. I'm going to try to wet sand most of this off. I'm not going to repaint any of it. Well, I'll touch it up like stuff that's rusted up. I'll use my homemade paint on, and that'll blend in close enough. This is a piece of history. I don't want to change any bolts that I don't have to. We're not drilling any holes. We're not welding any holes shut. We're just going to leave it the way it is and try to fix it up the best that I can. So let's measure out these numbers, what I can see here. They're also 2-inch numbers. And the unit ID starts 2 1/4 from this edge here. And then it goes off into, can't really see right. Let me go get a wipe. These things aren't bad. They work okay. Oh man, I don't want to see that plain as day. 11. Is that an HQ? X. 28th. X. U. 011. Oh, there's another. It was number 60. Unit of March. Headquarter company. Boy, it had headquarter written on it like 2 or 3 times. We're both discovering here because I couldn't see this for shit in the summer. Yeah. Headquarter company, number 60, but I can't tell. Is this 28th Infantry? It's 28, so I'm gonna guess that's the 28th Infantry. This is Pennsylvania, after all. It's 28, first digit is X. Anyways, let's measure the unit of March. That is 3/4. The end of the 0 here is 3/4 from the edge. They're 2-inch numbers. I think that wraps that up. Well, that's it for now. I'm going to take some photos, record these numbers here. I'm actually really happy with how these wipes, they wet the surface and got the sanding dust off of there enough to where I could actually see what the hell is going on here. So there's a nice tip for you. If you're trying to uncover some numbers or digits or hood numbers or whatever, get some wipes and use them. So that's it for now. I'm signing off. I hope your trailer painting endeavors go good. And thanks for watching and all that shit that everyone says.